going to change topics because we have Matthew Kaplan here. You are 18 years old, and you are getting $36,000. $36,000, all because of your work, really, in the fight against bullying.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, definitely. So I actually run an anti-bullying nonprofit for middle schoolers. It's called the B1 Project. And basically, we go into classrooms and put on like 4-hour programs with games and activities to really create empathy, among kids through shared experience.
So how do you do this? Okay, so you go into a classroom.
Yeah.
I mean, let's say, hypothetically, we're in a class and, you sit next to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I am a huge bully, and I'm super mean to you. How do you fix the problem?
Yeah, I'm sure you would never do that.
I know, but this is our hypothetical scenario.
Yeah,
or you're my bully. I don't know.
Either way. So, I think the first thing, we're always about, not labeling people. So, we throw around the word bully a lot. And I think, bullies aren't bad people, but they're bad behaviors. So what I would do is help you understand that you're, first of all, not a bad person, but sometimes that your behaviors can be perceived as being hurtful. So it's about creating that connection through kids, that what they're sending over text or Facebook is sometimes hurtful to the person that's receiving it.
Yeah. So you also target cyberbullying.
Yeah, that's a really big focus for us.
How did you come up with this whole thing? I mean, were you bullied as a kid? Did you...
Yeah, so my younger brother Josh was really bullied when he was in middle school, and that was really hard, I think, for our whole family. So I created the program just for him and for his class, and that's sort of how it started. And it's grown from there, but I created it, using my experience as a middle schooler, talking to teachers and educators and parents and principals to figure out what the issues were. And then I, found a way to help out however I could.
When did you start this program?
This is I think 4 years ago.
Wow.
I was
you were
a freshman.
14 years old and you started this program.
Yeah.
How many of you at 14 had your own program, I mean, that's amazing.
Thank you so much.
Does B1 have a website?
Yeah, it's www.theb1project.org.
theb1project.org, because I can pull it up and all our viewers can see it.
Awesome.
So if I just pull that up.
Oh, that's super cool.
So now they can see it right now. So let's kind of explore this. I'm very intrigued.
Yeah, definitely.
So
you can start on the About page. We have some information about our project as a whole and then the program that we do. And like I said, it's really all about building that. That's me. It's really all about, building that empathy through shared experience. So yeah, we do, we have our B1 program, which is where we work with the middle schoolers, and then we do a lot of community outreach. So we've partnered with Disney Channel. I have a PSA on Disney Channel.
Oh, wow.
We do...
Is the PSA here on the website
Yeah,
too?
if you go on the home page, it'll be right there on the home page, towards the bottom.
So you can play that for them.
Yeah, so if you see, you can hit watch now.
Oh, wow. I mean, Disney is huge, especially for that demographic.
It's reaching middle schoolers directly.
And it's on the Disney Channel. Did it also say Radio Disney, too?
Yeah, so I was on the Radio Disney Music Awards show as one of their Heroes for Change.
Oh, that's awesome. How was it? Well, we'll talk about that in a second. Let's watch this. And then I'm very intrigued by this, so I want to talk to you about that as well. So let's play the PSA.
My name is Matthew Kaplan. When my brother Josh was the victim of cyberbullying at our middle school, I decided to do something about it. I created B1, the Be Open to New Experiences project. It is really hard to admit that you have done something hurtful. This is your opportunity to start fresh. I use games and activities to empower students to be positive role models and to celebrate their similarities rather than tear each other apart for their differences.
Anybody I've been mean to because they're different than me, I'm really sorry.
The B1 project is showing kids that everyone can make a difference and that it's actually cool to be kind.
That's so cool. A lot of people saying such great things about you. What a wonderful young man. IC11
so
chiming
nice.
in. Brian Smith, I fully support you, Matthew, with the Bully Project. I actually got a guy fired from a place for bullying and harassment. Wow.
Yeah, and bullying happens, not just in middle school, but all over the place.
In adulthood, too.
Exactly, and that's why we work with middle schoolers, to target those behaviors as early as possible.
Right. And, one of the things we talked about a few minutes ago, or we mentioned at least, was cyberbullying.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot. That happens with adults. That happens on Twitter.
It does.
You say something wrong on Twitter, and next thing you know, people could be attacking you nonstop.
Up. It really does. And I
think that's the big thing is people, they don't see someone's face when they're typing things. So
even here.
I mean, even here, I have no idea what any of these people look like. So we're able to say things that we never would say face to face.
Right.
And that's really the danger of cyberbullying, is it happens anywhere, anytime, completely anonymously.
Right. Wow. Let's see. Brian Smith chiming in. I've been bullied all throughout my schooling days, Rachel. It's even happened at previous jobs. Everyone handles it differently, but for me, I ignored it throughout high school. Rachel asking, Matthew, how can my daughter, who's 8 today and has been bullied since kindergarten, what can she and I do to make a difference in bullying at her school? This is a horrible problem she faces.
Yeah, so we're right now actually accepting applications for our youth advisory board, and so we're looking for people just like Rachel's daughter to, help us in our fight to end bullying. So through the program, we're going to be teaching kids how to create projects related to bullying to really make a difference in their schools.
So what kind of projects? Like when you do these exercises, these 4-hour presentation activities in a classroom, what kinds of things do the students do?
Yeah, so it's kind of a progression. We start off with like the icebreaker games to really get kids up, talking, moving around.
Just like the ones you would do like at a leadership retreat or at a company thing where
Exactly. Really to sort of break that ice. And then, once we've really established that sense of community, then I give a presentation about my story, my experiences. I show celebrities then and now to show, the transformation that can happen from middle school to adulthood.
Who do you show?
So there's a good example. So one of the people that I talk about a lot is Steve Jobs and his story. Because when he was in, middle and high school, nobody thought that he was cool. He was like the opposite of cool. And now, here he was, as an adult, one of the most successful people of our time.
Absolutely.
And so I think kids really can connect with him and his story and see that, there is potential for them and that there's potential in everyone.
I think if more kids knew that like junior high and high school were not the end all be all, they would be able to cope a lot better, because I look back at, junior high, high school, and now, and I see the kids that were like the cool kids.
Yeah.
And I look back on Facebook and they're not as cool on Facebook anymore,
Yeah, I mean, the big thing for me is like getting kids to see that there is life outside of the four walls of school.
But it's hard when you don't know what the future holds, and you just all you know is that world and your school, and that is everything at the time.
And it's awkward. Middle school is an awkward. I don't know anyone that would want to go back to middle school. I mean, it's so uncomfortable. So it's really about helping kids see that everyone is struggling, even the people that outwardly, look perfect.
Gosh, I wish I brought this photo in for you. I'm gonna have to tweet it to you.
Do you have an awkward middle school photo?
I have the
Oh wait, I think I have one too.
No, I mean it's one of those things where it's so like, oh my gosh, I've been saving it to do a throwback Thursday to the in the future.
Oh my gosh.
When I really feel like I want to do it, but I have it at home. And it's very bothersome that I can't find it. It is a picture of me in, I think, 7th grade.
Oh my gosh.
And I always tell people, I'm like, I look like a fat Mexican boy. And I'm actually none of those things.
That's hilarious. You want to see my awkward throwback picture?
I do, yeah.
It's...
Oh my God, that's cute though. Show them that.
Can you see that?
Yeah, let's get it closer. That's adorable.
But look at my hair.
I don't care. That's
the
really
braces,
cute.
the hair. It was.
You look so fun. At least if you saw mine, you'd be like, "Oh my gosh!" And I don't have it on me.
Oh my! You'll have to tweet it.
I'm gonna have to send it to you. Yeah, because I'm not ready to share it with the world yet.
But what's so funny is, if you were to look at you now, like middle school, you would probably be like, "Wow."
Yeah, there's definitely times on Facebook where guys from high school are like, "Hey, girl." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, now you're gonna Facebook message me. Cool." Let's see. Who else? Rena and Rin saying, "My kid was bullied, and I went to her school, had her point out her bully, and went to their home and chatted with the parents."
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times, sometimes parents aren't aware of what's happening. They're not getting involved. It's really, I think, for me, we work with the students, but parents are such essential partners.
What about kids that are really quiet though, that don't tell their parents everything, and the next thing you know, you don't know about all these things your child is hiding from you? Yeah,
and I think the big thing about my program is that we're always about, helping kids speak up. Because there's a lot of stigma against people that are being bullied. It's somehow shameful, and I don't understand quite why, but people don't always feel comfortable asking for help. Right. So what we do is we get some teachers involved. They're always, there watching the program, so that we're really trying to create a culture where it's okay to ask for help if you need it.
Right. I guess if I think about it from a psychological standpoint, it is kind of weird to to say like, oh, so and so's being mean to me. Like admitting it, I guess. Telling
Yeah,
someone else, I guess,
yeah.
is admitting. I think as a kid, probably you think something's wrong with you.
And you
blame yourself
yeah.
almost.
And people, I think, worry that it's going to get worse if they do share. So that's why, creating that community. So it's not just about, isolating bullies and being like, okay, you're the bully, let's separate you from the rest of the group. But it's about making everyone accountable for looking out for each other.
What do you think constitutes bullying? Because there's probably so many different forms of
Yeah.
bullying. Like, I mean, it's making fun of someone for how they look,
Yeah.
or, I mean, what are the ways that people bully these days?
Yeah, I think the big thing that, bullying a lot of times is a learned behavior. They've, been bullied themselves. They've seen that kind of interaction. And so I think a lot of people bully others so that they're not targets. They're not singled out. It's easier to point someone else out as like, oh, you're the one that's different, rather than, feel that fear that you're going to be pointed out. So it's a lot of deflection that way.
Eduardo saying that, just remember that bullies have problems in their personal life, so they
Yeah.
take their anger out on others. Some end up dead or in jail. Oops, I scrolled down too far. I hate missing really good comments.
Yeah, people are saying some really. I love that people are sharing stories.
Yeah.
That's really what it's about. I think is giving people the space to share, because a lot of us have experiences, whether in middle school, in the workplace, about this issue.
Right. Rena and Ringe, I talk to the office every day until the school office actually
Yeah.
acted. That's really important. Yeah, like you said, parental involvement.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Smith, Rachel, that's usually how it starts for me. I was an easy target, and what people don't know, being bullied carries on for many years.
It does, yeah.
Rainan, I just followed the bus until the kid got off and saw what house he went to. That's awesome. Rachel saying, I knew of the kids and I spoke to the teachers and principals every day. It calmed down, then it escalated again.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, I know for my younger brother, like he went through the system
Why
of
were
like
they
asking for
bullying
help.
him?
That was the thing.
What was it like? What are the things that people are bullied for these days? Is it the same old stuff all the time? Is it?
No, I mean, I think it's really, it's individual case. The funny thing about Josh is that, when he was at school, people were perfectly friendly to him. But then when he would go home, people would sort of share their insecurities and project them
When
on
he was
him.
at home?
Well,
You mean, like, in
over
the
the
internet?
text, yeah. That
Okay,
was, and that
or
was where it was cyberbullying.
text messaging.
It was texting, Facebook messaging, emails, things that are innocuous, but that are hurtful.
Right, and I guess for me, that did not exist when I was in
Yeah.
elementary school. I mean, yes, in junior high, we were all in the chat rooms and stuff
Yeah.
talking to each other, but it
But it
wasn't
wasn't
like
that
that.
available,
No, not at all. And now it's I guess you forget how easily it's available. I bet they're probably even snapping mean comments to each other via Snapchat that disappear. I don't know.
There are so many new tools these days that make it so that it's so pervasive. It's happening almost all the time at all hours of the day.
That's so sad.
It's-
That's terrible.
It's really difficult, which is why there aren't a lot of innovative approaches to address the problem, because it's a relatively new field.
Right.
The bullying landscape has so shifted.
Right. It's not just you get pushed while some cool
Yeah.
person's walking down the hall.
It's not like that
by
biggest
the,
kid
by the
asking
locker,
for the lunch money
you know.
anymore.
The thing you always see in the teen movies, right?
Yeah, that's not always how it's playing out these days.
Right. You're saying it might not be physical bullying, but it's more psychological, emotional,
Yeah.
mental bullying.
Mm-hmm.
Eduardo saying the nicest people get bullied. That's not fair. Brian Smith, I laugh if I was cyberbullied. They're just cowards and not able to say it in person. Jessica, I was bullied all throughout elementary, middle school, high school, and I let it bother me. And now I have low self-esteem and don't think too highly of myself. I'm sorry, Jessica. Don't think that way. Since Spice Girl, my daughter is 13 and will not be allowed on social media. I prefer her to handle things face-to-face. Things change when you take it on a one-to-one level.
Yeah.
Rhiannon, I'm my child's voice, and I will be thrown in the side of the school until they become more active in my child's safety. Brian, I'm more positive now than I was in the past. I'm much more open and used to the bullying to help, and use the bullying to help better myself. Gio Leo, we have to end bullying. It's unimaginable and evil that I think we've all sadly faced in one way or another.
I mean, there are so many.
reading and saying, I arranged a meeting between my child and her bully, found out the bully story, and confronted him, and now he calls me when things are hard. Wow, that's a great success story.
I love that because what that also shows is that, like I said earlier, a lot of these bullies aren't bad people.
They're just dealing with it the wrong way.
Yeah, and so if we can give kids the right tools to deal with what they're struggling with, then we change that whole dynamic.
Gia, I would like to never, ever, ever, quoting a little Taylor Swift, I see, go back to my middle high school years. Too much embarrassing stuff. College was much more fun. They said your hair was like Carrot Top. Don't bully him.
No, what's actually funny is I show a very similar picture in my programs.
Yeah.
And I show kids like, this was me
You
when I
look
was
so
in middle
cool.
school.
You didn't even look like someone that would be bullied, I guess. Gia Leo loves the afro. People
Thanks,
are really
Gia
feeling
Leo.
your photo.
I feel like everyone, if other people have embarrassing photos, they should share
I
them.
need to, this one.
You have to
I
you
will.
have to show it.
Rachel, at the school there was no punishment for bullies. My daughter was tripped and they did nothing to the kid, but when my daughter tried to defend herself, she was the one who got in trouble.
And the sad thing is we actually see that playing out a lot where kids, when they finally, have enough and they don't know where else to turn, they take things into their own hands and then things backfire.
Right.
And, that's such an unfair system. For when kids are being bullied, they're the ones that are punished.
Right. Cinna Spice Girl, because some parents don't pay attention to certain things, their kids are allowed to run free, not cool. The more involved and open you are with your child, the better off both of you are.
Yeah.
Rachel, I homeschooled my daughter for a year and she wants to go back to it, but I don't want to teach her that every time she has a problem with someone to just run.
Yeah.
That's actually also a good point, Rachel. Gia Leo has a question. Do you think online school is helping end bullying? I've heard great things about sites like Primavera, K-12, etc.
Yeah, that's a great question. Part of the problem that I have is that my real focus is in improving, one-on-one interactions. So I worry that, with doing online high school, you're missing that face-to-face
Right,
work.
the social interaction, developing people skills, and
I almost wonder if it would be worse if you were completely removed from, having, being accountable for talking to someone face-to-face. Although, I think it's a great option for people that, really just are not thriving in traditional systems.
Maybe they're a kid that's on the Disney Channel and they can't go to school every day.
Hey, I have that issue. Like, every time I do a program, I miss a day of school. So it's, there are lots of options, to each their own.
Well, I did bring up the Disney Channel again for a reason, because I want to go back to your appearance on this award show. So they brought you on. Explain this experience to me.
So I was actually, through Youth Service America, which is an organization that helps kids kind of create projects, I was discovered by Radio Disney, and they brought me on to the Radio Disney Music Awards show, and I got presented an award by Shakira, which was crazy. And after that, Disney Channel followed up with me personally and was like, we're wanting to do a PSA about bullying, about kindness and inclusion.
Right.
Will you be our story? And I was like, yeah. How can you say no to that?
Right.
So it was originally supposed to air in October, and just in October, but they've been using it since because I think it's gotten, a lot of good feedback.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cinna Spice Girl, no parent likes to hear that their kids are being jerks, but guess what? They may be. You have to deal with it. Can't deny that they happen. If you do, you're kidding yourself. Eduardo, when I used to get bullied for being fat, I would just bully them for being too skinny. They look like toothpicks. Now I'm not even a fan or overweight. I'm 10 pounds underweight. Eduardo, I feel you. I had a bully in 7th grade. I remember once he... in a reference to Burger King, he told me I could be Burger Queen. I was like, I wasn't even that.
It's like, if you're gonna do that, that's not
Yeah,
even...
I hate him. To this day, I won't Facebook friend him.
No, I
I really hate him still.
I feel you. I, for a long time, was really insecure about my weight, about my body image. And that's something that
People
I still
are
deal
mean.
with. It's not something that just goes away.
Yeah.
But I think the thing was, finding ways to just say nicer things to myself and to get into that habit of just being kinder.
People are mean.
Yeah.
I don't know. Rob Heck. Okay, I guess I was a bully too in junior high and high school. I bullied the bullies who were mean to everyone. I could not stand to see people picked on, so I had to bully the bullies so they know how it felt. Well, that's it. It's like the Robin Hood: steal from the rich and give to the poor.
Yeah.
Apple Snapple. I was bullied when I came out as bisexual. I lived in the Bible Belt. I've had more than one high school classmate message me and apologize. Wow.
Yeah.
Let's see. Geo, I don't like the idea of bullying the bully. The bully is probably going through some tough personal problems if they're being a bully. Seek instead to help the bully.
Yeah, no, that's I think a really great point is, my program also isn't just for kids being bullied. It's also a support system for people that are bullying, and it's about helping them, make that connection. And yeah.
That's amazing because it's like you think about bullying and a lot of times as an observer, you hear about it and you're just mad at the bully and you feel sorry for the one being bullied. But, if you change the way you think about it and approach it, you do make a good point. It's like these bullies need help too, so you can't just hate the bully.
No, and this is where we, for the most part, like to just avoid using that word.
Hate.
Yeah.
Oops, I used it a couple
No,
times
and
today.
you're totally fine. It's an even bully. There's so much, negative attachment to the word bully that it's like we're just, at 10 and 12 years old, labeling kids as just being bad people. They're 10 and 12.
Right.
They have, potential to learn from their mistakes. It's not set in stone yet. Middle school is such a time where kids are, still learning about who they are and how they want to be perceived. So we really try and, get kids to be the type of people that they want to be.
So who are the celebrities that didn't look very cool when they were younger?
So Taylor Swift was one of them. If you were to see her,
I've seen photos of Taylor Swift.
So
I've been a Taylor Swift. I'm glad you pulled that up, brought her up, because I've been a Taylor fan since 2007, like before everyone else jumped on the Taylor bandwagon.
Yeah. I'm drawing blanks on some of the others, but we even show pictures of like Lady Gaga with her kind of crazy style, and it's all about embracing difference. Oh, it's that one right to the left. Yep, that one right there.
Oh yeah, that's not.
If you were to see that middle school girl,
oh wow!
Look at how and how far she's come. If you can show like an after
I'm gonna
picture.
show people. Well, they all know how she looks like.
Yeah,
no one doesn't know how she looks like now, but let me pull this up. All right, guys, you will see Taylor Swift at the age of 12. She's not. I mean, she's not bad looking.
No,
it's just she doesn't. She obviously wasn't the popular girl in school, and she talks about that in her songs and some of her early albums. She does talk about being sort of that outcast in school.
And that's the thing. A lot of the kids that experience bullying, which is a lot of people, aren't so different, but they do feel other in some way.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Taylor was just, was like all of us, insecure, struggling with who she was. And that's just a part of middle school,
right. Let's see. Lana, I think everyone has been bullied at some point. Even the bullies were bullied and chose to bully others. The internet, social media today makes bullying easier.
Yeah.
Eduardo telling me I'm way better than the bullies that bullied me. Samia, you're way better than them. You work with Rick, Andy, Ron, Corey, and the rest of the Fox 10 crew. No, I know I'm doing better now, but trust, it was when you're like 12, like that stuff makes you
hard.
cry.
It feels so personal, and it feels like, everyone is against you, and that's so hard when you're that age, and you don't know that, there's a future beyond middle school.
7th grade was the worst. Oh my gosh. Eduardo, I was just bullied like in 1st grade. After that, it got old, I guess. Rachel wants to know, Matthew, what your website again?
Oh, yeah. So it's www.theb1project.org. And people can go right on the website and book programs if they want us to come to their school to do a B1 program.
That's awesome. Let's see. Renan saying, I love it when people figure out beauty has nothing to do with the outside. It's best reflected in my behavior, not my mirror. So now, one of the things we mentioned early on, you're getting $36,000. How did this come about? And what are you putting the money towards?
Yeah, so I recently received the Diller Teen Tikkun Olam Award, which is an award for Jewish teens that are, making the world a better place, that are doing Tikkun Olam, which means repairing the world. And so this money is going to be able to go directly into my program. So I'll be able to, I'm working on training other people to become presenters, so we'll be able to reach, more students in more schools.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up right here in Phoenix. I'm a third generation native.
Phoenician. I
Yeah,
was
so
like, is
shout
it
out to my
which
family.
town?
Yeah.
Is it Mesa? Is it Chandler?
No,
is it
it's really
Scottsdale?
Phoenix. Like
Phoenix.
Phoenix. Yeah.
So then you go to school here.
I did, yeah. I just
Oh, you did?
graduated from Tesseract High School.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very cool. Let's see. You and 14 other teens got the same award, or
Yeah,
no?
and most of them are from California, and then there were a few of us from across the country, but
Right.
we all are Jewish teens that are doing some sort of service work, a wide variety of issues, but all helping others.
I would imagine just because there's probably a larger Jewish population in California, that more of the kids came from
Yeah,
there.
so the Helen Diller Foundation, they're all based in California.
Like Southern California is my guess.
Something
LA.
like
it's
that.
probably LA.
Yeah, probably. So I'll actually meet the group in August, on August
nice.
24th. Yeah, the 15 of us are going to come together, which is super, super exciting.
Gosh, you've done okay. So Shakira gave you an award.
Yes.
Now you have 36,000. You've accomplished so much by the age of 18. That's
Thank
like
you.
I don't know. Have you met Rick?
I have not met
Rick, can you meet this guy, Matthew? I'm sure you know this face growing up
I
here.
do, yeah.
I mean, I know you've already met Shakira, but Rick is a close second in terms of really cool people that you're gonna meet. We're gonna.
Hi.
I'm Rick.
Nice to meet you, Rick. I'm Matthew.
I'm Matthew. How are you?
I'm
So
doing well. How are
Matthew
you?
is getting $36,000 because of his work fighting bullying, and he's had this whole
Good
campaign
for you,
foundation
Matthew.
Thank you.
he's been doing for 4 years. He got an award from Shakira.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, through Disney Channel, I was one of their heroes for change.
That's great.
Thank you.
Well, congratulations.
Thank
oh,
you
my
so
God.
much.
It's wonderful. I don't even know who Shakira is.
There was Rick D'Amico making his appearance today. Once in a while, he sits up here with me too.
He
So.
says hi.
Yeah, hangs
That's
out
awesome.
sometimes, sits in this chair, talks to them. So
Cool.
depends on the day.
Yeah.
I think they're just telling each other different stories about bullying.
I love that
they're like a
there's so
support
much
group.
conversation, and that's really, we're about creating that conversation, giving people the space to share. So I love that that's happening.
Very cool. So what is in your future? You just graduated from high school. What's next for you?
So I got a full ride scholarship to Duke. So I will be going.
Okay, that's amazing.
So I'm a Robertson Scholar at Duke. So I will be studying social psychology and social change, finding out how psychology impacts social change.
I'm sure a lot of this foundation, they were so impressed with everything you've done, and
Yeah.
I can see how that major came about from work you were already doing.
I find it so interesting. So I'm interested in studying not only why kids do what they do, but how we can inspire kids to choose to behave, kindly and, give back to their community.
Right. Well, Matthew, this is awesome. I'm going to pull up your website once more.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts you want to tell the viewers?
No, I think the only other thing is if you're at all interested in, having the B1 project come to your school, head to our website and
I'm
then
gonna pull up the website for
Yeah.
them so they can see it once more.
And then if you're, an 8th through 12th grader in Arizona interested in, joining our cause, feel free to contact us. We're always looking for people to, join our fight. And then I think that's about it.
And if you're a parent that has someone between
Yeah,
kindergarten
anyone.
and 12th grade, you can
Exactly.
encourage them to join the fight. So all the information is here.
Yep, if you can go to book the program and that will show you, take you right to the booking form.
Right here.
And we love hearing from
Volunteer.
We love hearing from students, parents, teachers. And then I think another big thing is, huge thanks to the Diller Teen Tikkun Olam Award. I would not be able to do what I do without their support.
That's amazing.
So.
By the way, many people very impressed with you. This guy
Thank you.
seems very intelligent and mature. Billy saying, "Dang, Duke, congrats, Duke. Whoa, I am from Wisconsin. That smart's a bit still." Eduardo, I have to attend Dale Community College and you're going to Duke. You know what? Basketball is going to be really fun to watch there. I don't know if you're a big basketball fan.
I've become one. I actually committed the day that Duke won the national championship. It felt like a good sign to me.
Maybe if they lost, you would have chosen another school.
Who knows? We'll keep it up to grabs.
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to throw up Matthew's website once more while I walk him out. Thanks for all of your interaction, guys, and I'll be back in just a few minutes.
Thank you.